You've got yourself something funky.
You haven't got something funky, you've got something totally different. We've not tried this before, but we're going to have a little bit of fun and some chili silly with some pods in a different way. We have a reviewer. You've all seen him before, Cem Dervish, this guy there.
Hi, people. How are we doing?
Because if you're going to do pods, you need somebody to eat them.
Of course.
And it ain't going to be me.
We could get you to do some bell peppers.
It's going to happen at some point, just for the silliness.
Of course.
But if you've got a person to review pods, you need pods. And you need somebody that grew them. And you also need somebody that might even join them. So we'll bring them in.
Hello. Hi.
Two new faces.
Two new
Fabulous.
faces. And they're going to punish you with their pods.
Oh, I wouldn't go that far.
Punish. I like the word.
The reason I mentioned that is that guy up there has a little thing with Vitalis. And I know you've got one, so I'm looking forward to this.
That'll be the Vitalis tomorrow, Lou. So today is something totally different.
No.
Yeah, sorry for that, Lou.
Got me.
Guys,
I've been sat there built up for that.
No, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of yellow Vitalis. I don't know why. I know that yourself and Adele like those, but I'll be honest with you. When I'm eating them, it can ruin a competition for me. It can actually, and I'm like, what? And then it's not the heat. There's something about it which
bitterness or something maybe in there.
Oh, I don't know what it is. Just don't want to see them. But there we go.
Well, we have anyone that doesn't know what's going on. These guys up there, they grew some pods, and if you don't know who they are, they're going to introduce themselves. But Weng is actually one of my favourite people in the group. She doesn't know it yet. If you ever remember the Poundline boxes that I built.
Yeah.
She was one of the very first people that took it on and jumped straight in. And ever since then, I've admired you for that, because usually people just look at things that I do and they go, well, that looks a bit bad. So it was good to sit and watch that. Are any of these pods grown in one?
No, they're not actually. No.
Damn, I was
going to say one of these are grown. One of them is a can challenge, which was the Star-Kissed, and then the Jamaican yellow is grown just in coir and perlite and I suppose what else is there? Worm castings, I suppose, in there.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's coir and worm castings and perlite and vermiculite, basically.
Yeah.
Where did you get the worm castings from?
Just bought it off a place on Amazon, to be honest. It was like they're what they call Willie's worms. They did a big sack of them, and because you can buy them, like we first bought this package like Baltic something, and it was really expensive, really high quality. You could see that, but then I thought, okay, I'll buy this stuff as a quarter of the price. Saw what it was like, and it was actually nearly as good. So it wasn't quite as good, I'll be honest, but it was a quarter of the price. So
The reason I ask is I noticed a lot of the Australian growers do actually use them. Particularly one of the famous big growers in Australia. He swears by worm castings.
No, they're great. There are certain, I can't remember which pest it is. One of the pests doesn't go near your plants or doesn't go into your soil substrate if they're in there, because they I can't remember which pest it is. It's not aphids and it's not fungus gnats, unfortunately. But one of the pests that can affect your plants, actually, their natural predator is the earthworm, and so the worm castings stink of earthworm, right? So they won't lay their eggs near it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Learn something new every day, eh, Lou?
If I could only tell you which pest it was, it might be useful. But
You're not prepared.
But it gives us something to go looking for.
Indeed. Yeah. But does the pest attack the roots, or is it one of those where it will then emerge?
I seem to remember it was a mite kind of thing, so it would be something that would attack the leaves eventually.
All
it would
right.
be something that would emerge, yeah.
Fine.
But I can't remember which one it was now. You have to look it up. But yeah, it does. It's apparently it is a predatory smell, let's say, to a certain type of pest, as well as being a great nutrient. So yeah.
And it's also a great feed.
I'm loving this education already. To be honest. I should be taking notes. I feel like I'm back at uni.
Should know by now I always end up off on a weird tangent somewhere else.
Yeah. You know, It's been an education, definitely. Worm castings.
Yeah. Well, we've tried all sorts of ways of growing this year, because this year we're basically using it as an experiment, just trying all sorts of different things, just so that we can sort of zero in on what the best. Well, firstly, what the varieties we want to grow are, and then the best ways of growing those varieties. So I've Excel'd the crap out of this as well. We've got like a spreadsheet, like tracking all the things that we've done to the plants. So we've done some in coconut coir, some in compost, some in hydro of different types, like crack keys and things. You know, we got all sorts of different additives that we've tried, and so we know now when we get to the end of the season. Well, when we get to the end of the season, we'll know which ones gave us the best yields for each type. So it may be that certain types like crack key and certain types want to be in a soil substrate. So in which case, then if you wanted to go full hydro, you could still do that, even with the ones that want a soil substrate, because that's what the coir is for, basically, isn't it? Because then you can do, like I've been done some in a hempy bucket type thing, which is just coir and it's got holes in it, and you absolutely drench it, and then there's a reservoir beneath it, and the coir soaks that up, and that grows like wildfire. But I'm not sure yet whether it actually gives hot peppers or not. That's the problem. So it could be a trade-off of speed against heat, you know.
Everything alters it. You are correct. What I have noticed, you know, with the hydroponically grown plants, the ones in a wick system not so bad, because there is still soil involved. Somebody's ringing me. They'll have to go away.
You on me?
Decline.
No, I can hear it.
So the ones in a wick system with soil, blah blah, not so bad. Still taste perfect. They still taste good. But the ones grown in pure soil and well watered, well looked after, do seem to have more flavour.
Right. Yeah.
Better, you know. But
is that because? Do you think that's because it take longer to develop, and therefore they've got more time to impart flavour into themselves, or something, or you know?
I'm not 100% sure.
It might be. I mean,
yeah,
you know, if
I'm
you grow
not
slower, it should have more flavour. Most vegetables are like that, aren't you? If you grow hydro tomatoes, for example, they're not as tasty as if you put them in the ground.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Because you're not looking for flavour, you're looking for bulk. So for lettuce and stuff, it's perfect. But
Do you reckon it could be those natural nutrients that are already existing within the soil? You know, I know that sometimes the nutrients that you buy in the shops are probably, some of them are chemically based, so it probably can be.
It might also be the availability of water, because if you're in a hydro system of any kind, you're basically, the water's always there, right? The plant doesn't have to try to get water.
Yeah.
Whereas in a soil substrate, I mean, I know a lot of people in the US who grow. There's a couple of people I know who grow in basically rocks. It's just like bracken and rocks, and it's just in a big bucket, and there's big areas of air pockets in here, and the peppers grow like crazy.
Clear balls.
It's a bit different. It's in Southern California or something. We can't compete with that.
But anyway, onto the pods.
Definitely onto the pods.
So, what have you got there? You got an Italiano, haven't you? You got Italiano, right? Cool. Well, let's each have an Italiano. I've got a couple here.
And if you don't mind, can I talk about the Italiano? Just I'll give you some little bits. It is an annum. And
while you talk, I'm going to give you a bigger screen.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe it's an annum. And do you know what I like about this? And I generally do a bit of research, as I always do. What I noticed that a lot of the plants they just look like fire, like they just grow in clusters, and it just looks wonderful. And they're one of the easiest to grow, I've been told. But you know, these look great, by the way. I love this. Love it.
Yeah, they look really pretty.
They do.
Yeah.
If you got a nice patio, definitely stick them on there.
Yeah, they're pretty plants once they load up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Packed full of seeds.
Yeah.
I'm just going to have the one. Am I going first, everyone?
We can go at the same time, mate.
Chin chin then.
Chin.
I'm going to have another one. These would go great in a Thai dish.
Yeah.
Mind you. Sorry.
It's got some tanginess.
Yeah, a bit of fruitiness in there, isn't it?
I will definitely chop these up and stick them into like some scrambled egg.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah.
I do like these. I've never grown. I'll be honest with you. I've never grown this type of anum before, but maybe I should look in that direction because this would just give you so many.
Yeah, as you said, and they're easy to grow. I mean, we've had maybe 25 off that one plant already, and it's only, I mean, they're late bloomers here really because we haven't really had much of a summer, have we? We're expecting most of the fruit in September, really.
True. Where is the heat for you, as in located in your mouth?
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right at the back. I've got nothing here. Nothing
I've got
here.
A tiny tingle at the tip of the tongue, but it is all.
Yeah, it's all back
throat
there.
and right
quite
down.
a lot back there, in fairness.
Yeah.
It's not hot when you first eat it, is it at all? You're sort of chewing it, and you absolutely this is nothing. You could eat these on salad, like loads of them, and then about half a minute later, just feel like it's like a dry burn, isn't it? Right,
I'm with you.
back. Yeah.
What about you, Wang? Is that the same thing for you?
For me, I have a different reaction to chili from him. So my tolerance to anum is really.
Yeah, her she I guess it's because of what she grew up with, right?
Yeah.
I mean, in Malaysia they eat a hell of a lot of chili padi, which are kind of similar to that.
Yeah.
And so she just got used to that thing. She doesn't feel the heat from that, whereas she'll feel the heat from the Jamaican yellow.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
You or I will eat this like it's a weak Scotch bonnet, like a half-strength Scotch bonnet. It's really nice. It's floral.
Yeah.
But it's not hot particularly. Whereas she'll be on the floor.
Yeah.
Do you know we're talking about this Jamaican hot? Do you know this is an anum as well? Some people do. I know it's a surprise.
Jamaican yellow.
Yeah. If
Really?
this is the Jamaican yellow mushroom,
it looks like it's an ants, man, doesn't it?
I know. And do you know, again, this just came from my research, and I was like, no. So I as you do, you go into another site, and then it said anum. I looked at somewhere else, and it said anum again. If this is the Jamaican hot mushroom,
I mean, this is the plant that this came off of, and yeah, I mean, you can the leaves do look like anum.
Yeah,
they do look like anum. Yeah,
seriously,
I mean,
do a web search and you'll see it. And I was like, I'll be honest with you, I was relatively shocked by it because I know later on in the season, I know these are like the first pods that you've got. Later on in the season, they do look kind of mushroomy. They have that kind of mushroomy look.
Yeah.
But I was shocked, to be honest with you. I thought anum, and I was like, nah, let me go. Someone's having me on. So then I had a look around, and an anum it is. Surprisingly.
Very.
But there we go. I'm going to chop into this and see how it goes.
You're going to eat this yellow, then, yeah?
Right.
Which one are you cutting?
The yellow.
I've got the orange.
Yellow. Orange one? Well, that's a star kiss.
The little orange one, fine. So this one here. The yellow. Cool. Anum.
Yeah, I'm struggling a bit from that Italiano, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
And mate, I won first place in the chili eating contest last Saturday at the Great Dorset Chili.
Oh, congrats, by the way.
Thanks, mate. But I mean, I was eating like a ghost pepper and a scorpion and stuff, and right now that Italiano is hurting me almost as bad as that. It's like Wayne said, it's different types. Horses for courses, isn't it?
I totally agree. And do you know what? What shocked me? You know, people talk about the ahi lemon.
Yeah.
The lemon drop. I don't know how. There's so many names. So that one, they say that's real low down, as in heat. But when I chew into that, it can take me. It can give me a bit of a sweat. And I'll be honest with you, these are slightly warm. You know, they do look small, but yeah, indeed. So yeah, guys, this one I can see is a bit of a medium to thin wall. Yeah, and I don't know about yours. If you cut yours in half, the seeds were all collected and the placenta were all at the top.
Yeah, they're all at the top and all kind of mushed up in mine. Yeah. It's almost like they've been kind of, I don't know whether they grow sort of stopped halfway through or something. It's a bit weird.
Maybe
that's the first ones off the plant, so maybe there was weather issues or whatever during the grow.
It's
I
been
don't know.
on the plant forever.
Well,
Like, yeah.
don't worry. It does smell. It does smell Chilli. But there we go. Cheers, everyone.
Yes.
This is juicy.
Yeah, it's juicy. It's a lovely flavour, I think, the yellow. It's easy peasy. It's like there is heat there. And it's really good in the salad. We had one in a salad the other day, and it was really nice.
I do like that. I think this one here is a lot hotter. Your Italiano is
I do after you've swallowed it. Yeah, in the mouth it's not. I wouldn't say. But once you swallow it, it's a lot hotter.
I think later on in the season when the Jamaican yellow starts to take on some sweetness, I think this is a cracking pod. Definitely.
Yeah, it's going to be a nice pepper, isn't it?
Yeah, I do like that. And again, this is quite versatile. You can stick this into a salad, put it onto your fish, and anything really.
Fish, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, and then that brings us to the other one.
Brings us to this one here, guys. I've already cut. I've already cut into this. Indeed. I don't know. Have a look inside it. You'll notice that along the placenta, that there's oils alongside that.
Yeah.
And the seeds and the placenta just runs all the way down. There's oils. The seeds.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you cut it open, you can smell it, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's quite a spicy pod.
It is. See, I see Lou's in here.
It looks like that is a very early, slightly runt pod. And
the problem is that these were grown on a tiny little plant that's in a get the plant over, because this is grown on this little
it's for the grow
it's for the grow in a can competition,
right?
In the UK, yeah.
Little ones, the little runt pods.
Yes.
Yeah. Have a tendency of having a wild placenta, and sometimes they're a bit bitter and extremely hot. So,
do you know, Lou? I'm going to say this: you are correct with a wild placenta. I can see oils from the
there's
top,
oil all over this,
all running down to the bottom. And by the way, the cross for this is the MOA Scotch bonnet, which is the mum, and the father of this is the Bohemian goat. Yes. Yeah. So the mum. So it's the cousin of the. The famous KS Lemon Starburst.
Yeah.
All right.
And by the way, I know we've done this as a competition. No, Phil's got his own. I don't know, got his own plant. I don't know, growing. I don't know what happened there. But it looks like a great pod, nevertheless. But this is in its early stages. I believe all of Kang Stars are quite early. They're not stable anyway. So we're looking at F4, F5, maybe F6 at best. But with this one, I think this is quite early. This could be an F5, F4.
So
that's just me. That's just me having a guess.
Kang Star does insist that his seeds can never be sold; they can only be gifted. So.
Indeed. And do you know what? I like that about him. He does all these crosses, and then he just sends them out, and then for the world to love.
And actually, one thing I've seen on one of the pepper groups on Reddit, it was somebody started talking about they had some seeds and blah blah, and then like 3 people commented saying, "Don't buy from this guy. He sells Kang Star seeds."
Oh,
like as if that is a bad thing to do, because you shouldn't sell them, because they didn't start off being sold; they started off being given away.
Yeah,
and so they then take something that you give them for free, and then make seeds from that, and then sell them. It's just I mean, by all means, grow a healthy plant, sell it to somebody, but selling the seeds when you were given the seeds for free is taking the mick. And so people were quickly jumping on this guy, and I was like, yeah.
I know, because that's Kang Star's philosophy. I don't know if you've watched it. If you've watched any of his YouTube, he's a phenomenal crosser, and I
watch him when I want to get to sleep. You know what I mean? His voice is so calm.
I'm with you there.
But he's a very knowledgeable guy.
He is,
I agree.
I learned a lot of technique of growing chili from him. So even my mustard blend. The blend for the crack key, the hydro is Kang Star's mix. Yeah.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go.
We are.
Go on, Wayne.
Nom 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 nom.
Take a proper piece. Oh, look at this.
I'm just eating full pods here, so
I'll take the rest of your bit you didn't want. There we go.
Right.
And I do like the smell of that.
the smell's really similar to Scotch bonnet.
I'm just wanting to see Jem hiccup.
I got a cough though.
The cough was good.
Do you know this is
meat.
a warmer one than that one. But
Yeah.
I quite enjoyed this. To be
No,
honest
it's nice.
with you,
It's a lovely flavour.
what I like is that you can take there's a floral element in this one.
Really floral, yeah, very floral.
I've had worse, but this one's relatively all right. It's there, it lingers, and then you can still get it when you're kind of breathing in and out. But this one's all right.
Yeah.
I've got more. I'll be honest, I've got more Scotch bonnet than Bohemian. I've not tasted too many Bohemians, but
the Bohemian goes where that's really floral. It's very floral.
Yeah.
And so that's probably where I look, because this is more floral than a Scotch bonnet for me. The Scotch bonnet's fruitier than this, right? Juicier. Whereas this is like it's perfumed in some way, isn't it? It's
Where's the heat? Where's the heat in the mouth for this one? This one's weird for me.
It's around the tongue. For me, it's around
right underneath it.
Yeah, and on top, this is my tongue basically. Yeah, it's not hurt my throat at all.
No. What about you, Anne?
Not the Italian. It almost took me down.
I don't know why I cannot feel any heat at all.
Oh, you must have a bigger piece.
Can't feel anything at all.
Nobody's watching. It's fine. No,
but that one's warm.
Yeah, it builds a bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It builds. Actually, now I've had a second piece. I got it on my lips as well, a little bit like it's not where you've actually burnt your lips on it by putting it on it, but when your lips start to tingle because of the heat in your mouth. Do you know what I mean? It's almost like an internal lip thing going on.
Kevin Tilly loved the taste of the one he tried. It was nice and fruity.
Kevin Tilly's plant is a beast. I don't know if you've seen it. He's growing it indoors under lights, and I believe it's hydro, and it is massive, absolute monstrous.
The Starkist, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Starkist.
Nice.
Absolute monstrous. But yeah, this. I'll be honest with you. I look forward to eating this one later on in the season to seeing where it will develop in a way.
It still has potential to grow. I can tell that we still haven't got the maximum life. It can.
Well, I think the flavour can develop more. It can probably get sweeter.
Yeah.
But that heat, the heat. I'll be honest with you, Lou. The heat is up there, but that could just be because of it being early.
Yeah,
those oils,
smaller thing, because it's not like they took 2 weeks to grow. Those fruit were on there for a normal amount of time.
Yeah,
but they just grew tiny, and I think it's to do with the size of the plant and because of its the way it's been trained.
Of course,
it's halfway to being a punchy. This thing, I just
it's
just so tiny and weird and straggly.
Yeah,
and actually, many factors do it.
Of course.
Many factors can do it. Weather conditions where you don't get enough warmth in the right time and keep going hot and cold. Many factors.
Yeah. But that's pretty hot, right?
that is warm. So you guys are all right. You guys are drinking some liquids. Mine are over there. So
man.
Well, Weng's fine. It hasn't bothered her in any shape or form whatsoever.
Do you know what I'm looking at, Weng? And she's just smiling through this whole episode.
She hasn't got a clue what you two are whining about.
Give her a piece of this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
No. What is
do you want to try this, honey?
Bubblegum.
A Naga BBG7 yellow bubblegum.
Ooh, nice.
It's our first super hot though.
Oh, you got you brought it out.
Not. You're on your own, mate.
Oh, god damn.
Did you say a Naga BBG?
Naga BBG7 yellow bubblegum.
Is that a cross?
It's not our cross. It's I got it from Jim Duffy at Refining Fire he's now in Georgia, but he was in California.
Yeah,
and
I've heard of the name.
Yeah. And this is like the first pepper that came off of it. If you look at the inside here, it's wet as. I mean, I don't know why I'm wearing gloves, honey. For God's sake, remind me to to wash my hands later. Cut my hands off. Remind me later to cut my hands off, honey. But yeah, this is quite wet on the inside. As you
What does
can
it
see.
smell like?
Mainly pain. Mainly pain. I mean, it doesn't smell dissimilar in many ways.
The placenta.
I wanted to keep the seeds then, because we haven't got any more of these seeds. So, and Duffy's having issues sending to here now because of the Brexit situation.
Oh God.
But yeah, let's just take a chunk of this and see how we go. Eh? You want to take a piece of that? No. Yeah, I think you should.
Thundercats are go.
Indeed.
Oh, that's actually very nice. I'm gonna have a bit more.
They are fruity, but the heat does kick in a little later. By the way.
That was a naughty giggle.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm getting the feeling this one's a bit early.
Yeah.
I'm getting the feeling it's a bit early because there isn't that much heat. There's more heat than a Scotch bonnet kind of thing, but
hold on.
Yeah. It's coming in a bit. I'm sweating.
Put your fingers near your eyes.
Aye, yeah.
Guys.
No, God, good call. It was this hand. This hand is the one that cannot go near anything. If I go for a wee, I'm going to touch it with both. But yeah, that's all right. I don't. That's not fully ready. That's not as hot as it should be because that's not over 1 million Scoville right now. Yeah. No way. That's maybe 500,000 tops. And that's not as hot as the ghost pepper
this
that
is
you'd have normally.
Yet.
No.
Yeah.
But it's hot. It's already quite hot. But it's not.
It's not kicking.
Yeah, I wouldn't call this a super hot now. I'd call this this is definitely south of Red Savina. So,
Well, the Red Savina did hold the record for a hell of a long time.
500-600, wasn't it? Something like that.
Yeah.
And but this is definitely less than that, I'd say. And but only just. Yeah, it does build though. It does build.
Of course.
The Red Savina is still one of my favourite pods to dry out and make powders because when you make powders out of the Red Savina, it doesn't smell like any other chili. It's in its own league.
I've never grown them. That's one of the few we're not growing this year, I suppose.
How do you dry them? Like the dehydrator?
Dehydrator, yeah.
All right, okay.
Because that's probably what I would do with any of the BBGs. I'd probably dehydrate those and make them into powders. Because they're too hot just to cut up into your kind of everyday cooking. I'd imagine.
Yeah. You wouldn't want this in a salad, not unless it was very well dispersed. I mean, but it's nice flavour though. It's a really nice fruity flavour.
I agree.
It needs to get older. They need to get more mature because they need to be sweeter. I'm glad I didn't take the other one off the plant because there's 2 growing that are yellow already. Took this one off. I'm going to wait for the other one now. See if it can get a bit sweeter.
Will go well with the Caribbean. Food,
very much so.
Like carrot goats or something similar.
It would
that
do.
You can chuck two of this in the pot.
For people for whom the Scotch bonnet is
two of those.
People who eat Scotch bonnets and go, I want some kick. So that's it. That's it right there. The Naga BBG7. I recommend it.
I don't think the flavor is not as rich as Scotch bonnet. It's just.
I'm going to hold this hand down with the other one.
A lot of people will be happy to hear that it hasn't got as much flavour as the Scotch bonnet because some of them will find the Scotch bonnet a little bit pungent.
Yeah, no, I think it's one of the most uniquely flavoured peppers there is, right? I mean, so many of the anims are all basically, in terms of a flavour profile, they are pretty much a range that is obviously linked together. Whereas the Scotch bonnet is clearly something very, very different to that.
Yeah.
And it has, and a lot of the variants that you get, the 7 pot and all that, all the way through to that, have all got that have the same base flavour.
Yes.
So you've got basically, for me, you've got like the Annam, you've got a couple in Annam really, but then you've got the Naga, which is slightly different, right? So you've got the Naga variants and then you've got the Scotch bonnet variants, right? And then and this is just slightly hotter, isn't it? In fact, have I already touched the side of my face with this hand? It just feels like it's burning slightly down through here now.
And that burn will stay there for a while. I've
done
it many a time.
Like 20 minutes.
On the top of the eyelid. Why is my eye burning for like 3 hours?
Yeah. It's just it's thin skin, isn't it? It's vulnerable. Yeah.
I'm hearing that. But guys, I've got to say was sent some Jolly Woo chili hot mango.
There we go.
I'm gonna taste this, and do you know what I'm getting straight away is that mango. I love mango, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, it's mango.
Whose idea was to use the mango as a?
Mine. It was
it's fully his recipe.
So it's basically mango and Scotch bonnets and lime juice and maple syrup, and other bits and bobs, little bit of salt, little bit of sugar. But yeah, it's basically mainly when you first put it in your mouth, you'll feel zero heat, and you'll look at me like I've just given you some jam or something, and then about 10 seconds later, you'll be like, oh, there is something here.
It's probably not. It's probably not fair that I've had that Starkist. I'll be honest with you. It was up there. Well, yeah. Do you know what? You can smell that mango, and I love the fact that I can see the Scotch bonnet within that as well, which is great.
As the makers of this sauce, where would you place it in heat level?
Wow. Oh, it's like basically the hottest sweet chili sauce you've ever had, but it's not. But I wouldn't say it was a hot sauce, not at all.
It's not hot
but
sauce.
It has a kick after a few seconds, as Cem was just about to tell you.
Do you know it is warm? You do get that. There is that warmth, and then you get that reminiscent Scotch bonnet sting in the mouth because it's already hitting the lips and it's already got the tongue, But that doesn't detach away from the sweetness and the mango. And I think it's good that you use maple syrup. I think that's a great touch. Because I know a Canadian sauce maker who also uses maple syrup within his sauces. And I think that's just great for you just use
the reason I did it was because I made a Hab sauce last year that I used the Habs and maple syrup. And it went really well together. So I thought, well, Habs and Scotch bonnets, let's be honest, sometimes you can't even tell them apart. So,
true.
To look at least. I mean, flavor-wise, maybe a little bit, but they're very, very close. And so I thought it must work. And I think it has done, hasn't it?
Do you know what, guys? This is a success. You could use this on anything. I'm going to be quite basic here. You could stick it on your chips. You can put it onto your anything that's battered, really. Be it fish fingers, be it nuggets. Indeed. So
if you with cheddar, mate, that's what we do at home.
Yeah. Do you know you can even drizzle that on your salad, and it'll be great. But you've done it's great. I could carry on with that on my spoon, but you've done a super sauce here.
I'm gonna have to get a bottle of that. So throw Adele a message. The reason being.
We send you this one.
We'll send you one.
The reason being is I never used to like mango. I hated it.
Right.
And now one of my favourite sauces is a mango sauce. And like Jem says, the reason being, McDonald's fries when they're too salty?
Yeah.
As you're sitting there dipping in the mango.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this would be perfect for that because it would be like that, but with some Scotch bonnet heat.
Well, that's straight. This other one it's a mango with a roundabout of Scotch bonnet heat.
Yeah.
Do you know, Lou, you'll enjoy this. I know you and your chilies. This is something I think you'll definitely enjoy.
It's going to go with salty foods, isn't it?
Yeah,
big time.
And I would even push it to being like those slightly oily foods as well, because I think there's an element that will cut that out.
There's lots of lime juice in the sauce.
Yeah, there's lots of lime juice in it as well. Yeah,
kind of like,
and a bit of vinegar.
Yeah,
but
so
when we were making this, we actually like when people make a sauce, sometimes they have like the mulch left over in the sieve, and they can dry that out and make a powder, right? With this one, because of all the mango and because of all the syrup and sugar in it, basically, when I took the mulch, I was like, oh, that looks sticky, sugary. I was like, okay, let's stick that on a baking sheet and dry that out, right? So we dried that out. Ice cream sprinkles.
Wow.
Right. So basically, you end up with it in shards like this, like shards like that, and it's basically chili candy, but and it's maple syrup and Scotch bonnet and mango chili candy. And what the idea is, I mean, obviously it's a byproduct, so it's basically free when I'm making the sauce. So I wanted to figure out the way of making that nice. So obviously leaving the seeds out was a big step, because the previous version I did with the seeds in, the candy ended up a little bit bitter because the seeds were in that element of it. Whereas this time I left the seeds out completely, and then it's just like candy. And so I sort of, when I send like a bottle to somebody, I should include a little bit of this in a little baggie. The problem is, you send that in the post, it can look well dodgy if the parcel gets scanned. You know what I mean? I mean, that's not too dissimilar from things that might be, picked up. But
I'm sold. Just send Adele a message and tell me how much we need to pay for the cross.
I'll send you some of the ice cream sprinkles with your sauce, mate.
I'm sold.
Have you done any kind of chef business in the past?
No,
that's quite chefy, by the way. Using something like that.
I'm quite an obsessive cook, to be honest with you. I'm very keen in the kitchen. Always have been since I was a kid. So and then now I've got into this chili thing. I mean, she got me into the chili thing last year during lockdown, and it wasn't until we had the pods come off, and I thought, okay, now we've got something to do, and then that drew me into her hobby. And so last
then
year,
you won a chili competition.
Exactly.
And I made like a hab jam last year, and then I made ghost chili peanut butter. That was really good. That was amazingly nice. Yeah.
Peanut butter is banging.
But you've got to get the right amounts, because if you put too much chili flesh into peanut butter, you've got it has the potential to go off, right? Because you can have little bits of air with a bit of fresh fruit, and that will obviously go off. So what I did was I mashed up the ghost chilies, put them in a little bowl, and steeped them in tequila. Just covered them in tequila, and then let it sit there for a couple of hours, and then you blend it into your peanut butter with a little bit of sesame oil and a little bit of mirin, and it worked. And it just it's amazing.
But you don't want to eat that first thing in the morning.
No, but these would work for that. These would work for the peanut butter.
Yeah, this one, the
nice.
DG7, it works. Yeah,
but maybe a bit too fruity. The ghost is quite nice, because I'm a big fan of ghost peppers.
So I'm a fan of ghost as well.
It's like a staple, you know. It's like straight down the line. Not too much fruitiness. Lots of heat, but not unmanageable, you know. And that, for me, ghosts are absolutely they are what they are because they are so good, quite frankly.
I'm hearing you. Yeah. If you eat too many fresh pods, they can give you a gut bomb though. About 3 hours down the line, they normally hit me like that. But
I've probably only ever eaten one ghost at a time. I mean, more than that anyway.
Yeah, that's just me.
I won a chili eating contest by only eating one of those and one red scorpion, and then that was the end of the thing. And everybody else had died by then. So it's like, okay.
Well, congrats anyway, but getting that far, definitely.
One like so when sauces and stuff is brilliant.
All right then.
Right.
Sweet.
Have you got something else to munch on there, Jem?
I'm going to save them. They're in the fridge, but I've got to save them.
Really?
To tomorrow.
Well, even after me doing this?
Yeah.
Even after me eating more of this?
Do you know what? I'm going to be very honest. I've got sent them, so I've got to do them as in.
No, that's fair enough.
I've got to do it in that manner. I've got, if you see me, I've got to sit here and babble a bit.
Lou's face is not saying fair enough.
Nah, well.
Set me right for getting me up.
Well, sorry about that, Lou. But I'm going to just say the red. I'm going to just say I've got a red fatale, and it is.
Wow.
It is that size, and I was like, what? So it's going to be me eating a meal, and I want to do a few. I want to do a few of them. So it's gonna watch for the live.
Cool, will do.
I will be, mate.
Oh, unless you want to host it, Lou, and then we could talk about it.
I might put you off.
Probably. There we go.
A big possibility I could put you off.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say thank you very much, guys. I appreciate you sending me the pods, and this will be finished by tomorrow afternoon. So there we go. But I do appreciate it. It's great to do a pod review with two other people, and having Lou down there hosting is always a plus point. But I've got to say thank you very much. It's a big change, and I'd like to do this with others, and get this cracking, because it is, more the merrier in some respects. But there we go.
Yeah.
But thank you very much again.
Thank you.
Whilst we're here,
cheers, guys.
do remember to message your Dill, but we're also going to need your address too.
Okay.
All right. Cool.
So I'm going to jump out and say see you later, and you can do
All
your
right.
guys.
Take care.
Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you later, Jem.
Bye.
Bye, guys. That was Wingsy Woo and Alex. I hope I pronounced those right. Cem Dervish doing a couple of pod reviews and a sauce review. I'm going to get myself out. New Chilli-heads, Lucifer's son. Woohoo! See yous.